If your task list feels messy, outdated, or impossible to manage, you're not bad at Excel. You're just using it wrong. In this video, we're building a smart task and project dashboard that tracks progress, deadlines, and project status automatically without messy sheets or manual updates. Let me quickly show you what we're building so you understand how everything fits together. Section 1. What we're building. This entire system is built on 4 sheets. First, a task form. This is where you enter tasks. Second, a task database. This is the engine where the information from the task form is automatically filled in. Third, a project chart sheet. This is where we store our project charts with its pivot tables. And fourth, and the most important sheet, are the project dashboard. This lets you zoom into one project and see everything instantly. Once you understand this structure, the rest becomes simple. Section 2. Create the task entry form. Let's first create a new sheet called task form. This sheet is meant to add tasks in a standard format. Let's start with giving our form a title and give it a green background color. Now let's make the text white and bold. Then insert the following fields: creation date, project name, task name, description, priority, due date, days estimated. Next, let's insert one column left and change the width to 4. Do this at the other side of the table as well. Next, let's give our form a gray background and give our input fields a white color. Let's also add a bottom border in dark green. Adjust the height of the description input field. Next, let's add a drop-down list for the priority. A drop-down list prevents errors and keeps your data clean. Click on the input field of priority, navigate to data, and select data validation. In the allow drop-down, select list, and in the source type low, medium, high, and critical, all separated by commas or semicolon, and click OK. Now, let's autofill the creation date with today's date by using the today's function. This will make filling in the form a lot quicker. Section 3. Build the task database. Next, let's prepare our task database. Create a new sheet and name it task database. In row 1, add these columns: creation date, project name, task name, description, priority, due date, days estimated, status, start date, days actual, completion date, and due status. Now, here's an important step most people skip. Click on one of the cells, press Ctrl T, and turn this into a table. Don't forget to select My Table has headers. Rename the table to Task Table. Let's change the design of our table. Section 4. Connect the form to the database. Great job! Now it's time to connect the form to the database. We'll be using Office Script to transfer the data from our form to our dashboard. Let's go back to our task form and fill it in. Great job! Now we're ready to record our Office script that will copy the data from our form to our database. Let's navigate to the Automate tab, click Record Actions or Record from Recording. After clicking it, you will see the record actions in the pane on the right. Every action you now take will be recorded. I will now copy all the information from my task form and paste it into my database. After copying all the fields from my task form, I will insert a row so that there is an empty row available to enter new data. I will also reset the form by deleting all the data except the today's date. Now, you will see all these actions recorded in the right pane. Now, stop the recording. You can view the code by clicking on Edit. Now, let's rename the script to Copy Data to Database. Let's test our script. Great, it works. Let's now focus on the calculated columns. Section 5, calculated columns. We want to autocomplete the status based on the start date and completion date. We're going to use the following formula. What this means is if the completion date cell is not empty, it should show completed. If the start date is filled in, but the completion date is blank, it should show in progress. The last part means if the start date and completion date are not filled in, it should show not started. Next, we'll set up the logic that tells us whether a task is due soon or already overdue. We're going to use this big formula. Let me explain this formula. The very first thing the formula checks is simple. It checks whether we have a due date. If there's no due date, the formula returns nothing. There's nothing meaningful to evaluate yet. Next, we ask the most important question. Has the task been completed? The formula checks if the completion date was filled in. If it was, the task is done. But we also want to find out if the task was completed on time or late. We do this by comparing the completion date to the due date. If the task was completed on or before the due date, it's labeled completed on time. If it was completed after the due date, it's labeled completed late. Now, if the task has not been completed, we want to know if we will meet our deadline or if the task is already overdue. First, we check whether the due date is already in the past by comparing the today's date with the due date. If it is, the task is ongoing overdue. If it's not overdue, we check whether the due date is within the next 3 days. If it is, we flag it as ongoing due soon. If none of those conditions are true, meaning the task isn't overdue and isn't close to the deadline, then the task is simply ongoing on track. Now let me fill in some data to check whether our formulas work. You now see that everything is ongoing because the completion date has not been filled in yet. Let me add the start and completion date and see what happens. You now see that the due status has changed. And just like that, you've built the foundation of a smart task system in Excel. You now have a clean task entry form and a structured task database with automatic status updates and smart due date tracking that tells you what's on track, due soon, or already overdue. But right now, we've only built the backend. In part 2, we're going to transform this data into a fully automatic project dashboard. You'll see a live project overview, real-time progress tracking, and interactive filters. This is where Excel stops being a spreadsheet and starts feeling like a real project management system. If you want to finish the system, click part 2 and let's build the dashboard together. And if this video helped you, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in part 2.